Everyone, Sara here, and in today's video I really want to talk with you a little bit about intuitive eating and weight loss and how I perceive things, what's my approach to it, because a lot of people think that you can't really reach a healthy weight in a non-obsessive way, and I really want to share a little bit of my story, how I got to a healthy weight in a non-obsessive way, and also what are the tools that I use in my program and with my clients, because I believe that you can, because I take it one step further. Yes, we make peace with food, but also I teach you everything that you need to know in order to discover your mind-body constitution and work with your unique metabolism, your body type, and there are certain foods that work best for you. And that's the power, is to get to know who you are, what works for you, so you can balance all these energies and do some inner work. But if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, because every Friday I release a weekly video. So let's get started. Okay, let's just start by saying that the intuitive eating term started in the 90s when the book Intuitive Eating came out, and it was a way, it started with this way of revisiting your relationship with food and healing the relationship with food and shifting and drifting away from the diet mentality and kind of like ditching the diet and the weight loss system. Okay, so that's how it started, and it's based upon 10 principles. So these are the 10 principles upon which the book was founded, and I believe these are all very good principles. Okay, so that without even knowing that the book existed, I pretty much led myself into a journey of making peace with food. Let me share my story just a little bit for you to understand where I started. Okay, so I started about at 16 years old, having a really the first signs of eating disorders, and I started with bulimia, and then I was really focused on like my abdomen and stomach area, like obsessed, like I didn't like it and it was creeping me out, and I was so obsessed with the scale. I started not eating healthy, starving myself, and so my mom took me to a dietitian, and I'm the kind of person who is very determined, so I get what I want if I put my whole self into it, and meaning I could follow a very restrictive 1200 calorie diet for 2 years, and that got me to my goal weight very fast, but it messed up my relationship with food even further, because then I went the other way. I went really thin and underweight, probably like 10-15 pounds of what I am now, and that wasn't healthy because I wasn't really eating, and I was doing all the tricks to it's so like hard to even admit at the time, and right now I can talk about it, but you find tricks and you lie to yourself, telling yourself you're not hungry, telling yourself like you're full, snacking at dinner and in front of everybody, kind of trying to paint a picture that is not the real you, and instead you are suffering. So I remember I was 18 years old, and I decided to travel the world because I knew that this peace with food, because I got where I wanted to be, I wasn't really happy, was connected to myself. Like I didn't really know myself, and I needed to get out of my own house, mainly like I needed to really discover who I was, get in touch with myself, connect. So I went and traveled the world. I went to Australia, New Zealand, Thailand. I went all over the place, and kind of like following the wind, I'm very kind of like that person that follows the wind. I have like a basic plan, and then it's like, if something comes up, like I'll follow it. Very like emotionally driven personality. But it did me good in terms of like, I detached myself from diet and I said, I'm not gonna use the scale anymore. I'm just gonna eat, and actually gained weight. I gained like 10-15 pounds more than what I am right now. But I didn't care. I got to a point where I didn't give a literally crap about anything and myself, and obviously I wasn't really happy about it. I was super uncomfortable. I knew I wasn't myself, but I felt like I needed to do that in order to heal, because I was always the girl that people were like, you're perfect, you're great at school, you are so beautiful. And I was like, well, I guess you're painting a picture, but I don't like myself. Even if I am, and I've achieved so much in my life, and I did have great things, and I succeeded in everything, but I wasn't really happy with myself. So I went the other route and I gained weight, and kind of like, I think I dyed my hair, I did a perm. I was just like, if I show you a picture right now, you're not gonna recognize me. And here's the picture. I actually found one, and there it is. And I'm happy to share with you, because that was a moment in my life where I didn't care about anything anymore, and I wanted to detach from the beauty magazine look that everybody's trying to get to, because I just wanted to feel like I loved myself. Well, not to feel like, but actually to come to a place of self-love. And so anyway, fast forward, I got to America, met the father of my kids, and I went to veganism for 4.5 years, where my health took a huge turn, and I started being really sick and developing a borderline autoimmune disease, and I wasn't in a healthy relationship, and I decided that something needed to change. So the bottom line of my journey with food is that I went from perfect restriction, yo-yo dieting, external validation, to don't give a crap about anything, learning new things. Because I went while I traveled, I went to like do retreats and detox retreats, and I went to meet like spiritual leaders and dietitians, and I just started to study and travel to connect the diet with my mind, body, spirit connection. And then I went into veganism, which, yeah, it rocked my health, but it really gave me a perspective of also, it taught me so much in terms of like superfoods and a new way of cooking, but it taught me so much to the point where I took my health really seriously at 25 years old, and I said, I've had enough, and I am going to clean up my diet, and I'm going to heal. What I'm trying to say is, during this intuitive eating journey, I also lost weight, and now I'm at a healthy weight without obsessing about food and scale. That's where I wanted to get. Okay, let's talk about some of the principles that I've applied in my journey. The first one is rejecting the diet mentality. Yes, I did that, and that was when I went the other direction, meaning like I didn't care about I had to go the other end, meaning I gained 15 pounds. I didn't put makeup on. I curled I did a perm to my hair. Oh my God, it looked awful, by the way. And I went the other way to the point where I lost my, you kind of have to lose yourself before you find yourself, okay? If you watch any Disney movie, that's what happens. Like the hero loses herself or himself, and then something happens, and then you kind of find your pieces back. Um, that's what I do with my clients that are already lost, and I put the pieces back, and in a matter of 8 weeks they come out like very close to whole, meaning like they found themselves. Now they have to like keep consistency in what I've been teaching them, but pretty much what I do, I teach them how to work with their body, their mind, their soul, and apply that so they don't have to like read another diet or another new trend and things like that. Anyway, so I went through the diet, ditching the diet, of course. Honor your hunger. I did do that a little bit, honoring. Yes, I did honor my hunger, meaning I love food, and I think um it goes with the discovering the satisfaction with food, meaning I surrender. And surrender doesn't mean give up, okay? To wanting, realizing that I love food so much. I just was like, I love food. But yes, I did challenge a little bit of the food policy, and that was my vegan journey into veganism, meaning it got me so much clarity on what's in the food, and I source everything like quality and organic. So that brought me so much knowledge. Also making peace with food, and yeah, of course, like that, I feel like it was the end of my journey, like making peace with food. It's kind of like making peace with yourself. Respect your body. The joyful movement, gentle nutrition. Okay, respect my body. Obviously, that was a key piece, meaning like whenever you're dieting, restricting, and counting calories, like not really honoring your hunger, you're not respecting yourself. You're not respecting your body. You're not just, it's lack of respect. And I realized that there was no self-love. I was doing to me something that it was terrible. So when I started to be like, hey, I love myself. So if I love myself, obviously I want to treat myself well. I want to give myself quality food, ingredients. I don't want to end up sick, but you really don't understand this. And this is I'm going to be brutally honest with you. You don't understand this until something powerful or awakening happens to you. And that for me was my borderline autoimmune disease, and the pain that I felt at 25 years old in my body, having 2 kids under 2. I was like, I feel like a 90-year-old woman, and I can't do this. I'm 25 years old. I don't want to do this any longer. Okay, so if you can get to this point before you have an awakening moment, you can, and you absolutely should. To me, it took my health and see how it would affect the life of my children to wake me up. And I finally took my power back. And so that was my journey, and I did apply those, but the thing that probably you're wondering right now, the question you might have is, okay, how do I lose weight? Can they go together? And I can tell you, and I know like a lot of people are saying like, don't listen to someone that is telling you that intuitive eating can go with weight loss, but it can. The way I teach it, it's absolutely following the intuitive eating rules, connecting with yourself, but I'm going a step further. Because I study Ayurveda, I know how to work with each different body types, and I teach you everything that you need to know so that you know what foods work for you, you know like how to reverse health issues, you know how to get back to yourself. It's kind of like feeling home again, and it's a transformational journey. And in most cases, that means weight loss can occur. And the way I describe it, it's kind of like a spiritual journey because we go into trauma healing. And when you heal certain traumas, it also helps with shedding pounds. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe because every Friday new videos will be coming. And in the meantime, a big and warm ciao.